welcome to Tainan, the oldest city and former capital of the island of Taiwan. Now, this is a very historic place, but to be honest, I don't know all that much about this city, so let's go have a look around and see whether Tainan is worth visiting. Good morning and welcome back to another city tour. Today we are visiting Tainan, the oldest municipality on the island of Taiwan, or Formosa. Ilha Formosa, meaning beautiful island, is the name that Portuguese sailors gave Taiwan in the 16th century, and some people still use it today. Because Tainan and Taiwan sound so similar, I will occasionally use the name Formosa. The city was officially founded in 1624 when the Dutch East India Company established a fort and a trading post. We will see the remains of the original Dutch colony later. Tainan was under Dutch control until 1662 when the fort was conquered by a Chinese general named Koxinga. Koxinga was later defeated by the Qing dynasty, which controlled Formosa for over 200 years. During both periods, Tainan served as capital of the island. In 1895, Formosa became a Japanese colony until the island was transferred to the Republic of China in the wake of World War II. Today, Tainan is the fourth largest city on Formosa and an industrial powerhouse, as well as a hotbed for services, education, and tourism. I began my day in the city center, where you have some pretty happening main streets as well as more historic narrow alleyways. The first order of business was to get some breakfast. For that, I went to a stylish local bakery/coffee shop where I got a delicious almond cake and a croissant. It is now time to begin exploring, and the first location that we're gonna cover is the Tainan Art Museum. Open since 2019, there are two buildings with different galleries. Building 1 is the former Japanese colonial police station, while Building 2 was specifically designed to house the museum. They are connected by a central corridor. The ticket will set you back 200 NT, but it is valid for 6 months and includes all 26 galleries in both buildings. There are various temporary and permanent exhibitions, mostly focusing on modern art, but also photography. One of the most well-known artists represented here is Chen Chi-Quan, a Taiwanese designer who is renowned all over the world for his architectural works, but he also created some pretty impressive paintings. It is now time to head to the city's old town, Anping district. It is situated around 25 minutes from downtown Tainan and easily reachable by bus. Anping Old Street was built over 300 years ago by the Dutch, and it was the first road to be given a name. Today, the street features different kinds of shops, as well as street food and a few small temples. Close to the Old Street, you'll find the original fort that the Dutch built in the 17th century. Initially called Fort Zeelandia, it was set up both as a defensive and commercial structure with houses and workshops around it. After the Dutch were expelled from the island, the Anping complex was turned into Taiwan's main seat of government. Today, it houses an interactive museum that explains the city's eventful history. In the courtyard, you'll find imposing banyan trees and an observation tower that was renovated in 1975. The tower offers spectacular views over Tainan and its waterways. At this point, it started raining quite heavily, so I returned to the city center for a late lunch. I found a really charming street with various local restaurants and ended up going for 2 small plates of Danzai noodles, a Tainan specialty that comprises wheat noodles with minced pork and prawns. They were amazing and only cost around $2 each. After the rain had stopped and the sun had gone down, I went to check out Shennong Street. Central Tainan has lots of picturesque alleyways that look frozen in time, and Shennong is arguably the most famous one. There isn't all that much to see here, but it is a very pretty and therefore Instagrammable spot. After Shennong Street, I wanted to go have a look at the Chikan Tower, a 17th century Dutch colonial outpost, but it was under renovation, so I moved on to the Grand Mazu Temple. Completed in 1684, it is dedicated to the deity of Mazu, the goddess of the sea. The temple was built under the Qing dynasty, who, upon conquering the island, found that the locals on Formosa mainly worshipped Mazu. By constructing a grand temple, the foreign rulers wanted to essentially buy the loyalty of the natives. I then went to get some dinner, and it was another incredibly delicious noodle soup. This time, the dish contained boiled egg, corn, some vegetables, and pork. I have to say that the food here is a sensation. As our day in Tainan is coming to an end, let's do a quick accommodation tour. I found a small guest house called 105 House Tainan, and it was clean, comfortable, and in a good location close to the main station. I paid around 26 euros for one night, which is a pretty sweet deal. And that is it from the historic capital of Taiwan. I found this city highly fascinating and pleasantly laid back. You can see the main attractions in one day, but if you don't want to rush, I would recommend 2 days in Tainan. There are also plenty of day trip options, and thanks to Taiwan's amazing high-speed train, which I reviewed in a previous video, you can easily get to other places in Western Taiwan. As always, thanks very much for watching, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.